Hello, I'm Carl James. I'm an equipped bench press specialist. I've been coaching people now for 16 years in powerlifting, and I hold currently the biggest bench in Europe and the biggest in all disciplines of equipped benching in UK. Today we're going to cover some of the basic things about equipped bench press training, but we're focusing on something a bit different. The band shirt. They're the newest equipment category, the unlimited bench press. Just in case you don't know what a band shirt is, it is not one of those shirts that says Metallica or Nirvana on them. It is a shirt like this. The unlimited bench shirt category nowadays, it is the newest development in equipped lifting, and it's got more and more popular, especially in UK. I get a lot of questions about the differences between lifting in an unlimited shirt and a normal poly shirt. And I'm going to go through a few of those things today and take a look at some key points how to make the best out of the band shirt you bought. Yeah? The key points we'll be covering is the setup, the handout, and then the descent. Well, on the setup, there are so many videos how to set up for your bench. We're not going to cover all that. We're only going to cover the things that I think are extra special for lifting in a band shirt and lifting really big weights. Some of the key points that most of the setup videos I've seen tend to miss. On the handout, we're not going to talk about the specifics, whether you want 1 man, 2 man, 3 man, only the special things about how to set up for the band shirt, how to get your hand on the bar, how to get your shoulders back. And then the descent, we're going to focus on the stabilizing it and the angle of the lift. That is the crucial difference between classic bench shirts and the band shirt, is the angle of the elbows, and we're going to cover how to get more out of the bench shirt and how do you really use the groove to get all the power all the way through the lockout. So we're going to go downstairs, start benching, we're going to do a proper bench session and just cover these as we go. Yeah. So we start with the number 1, the setup. There are as many ways of setting up as there are people. You know, some go behind, some go front, some have their feet on the pad. I don't care how you get into the position. What we're looking today is making it as tight as possible when you're in it, because that pressure is something you're going to need when you're really handling big weights. So I would say that the 2 most common ways of setting up are either feet back or then feet forward, sometimes wide, sometimes close to each other. What is common in all of these, that you have to get a push back from your feet, and you have to get tightness in your hips to be stable with the bigger weight. And if my cameraman will now focus on my feet, I will go through. One of the keys, if you're on your toes and you found the perfect spot to tighten everything up, you push your heels down. Sometimes you might have your feet so far back that even if you push them down, they won't move much, but just the action lifts the hips and directs the power backwards. If you have your feet forward, if you have your feet in front, it's simple enough. You use them just to push yourself directly backwards. That's simple enough. Most people have them somewhere in the middle. And here, especially if you're wide, the key thing to tighten up is to spread your heels out. I'm exaggerating the movement here so it's visible. You push your heels out and it tightens everything in the hips. And then once again, you keep the push in. Those little tricks will turn the otherwise good setup. Of course, the setup has to be good from the get-go. Your hips have to be tilted. Like I said, there are so many videos covering those things. I'm not going to focus on that. But I think what you do with your feet is one aspect that I rarely see. So I wanted to cover that. So it's a base for the next thing, which is setting up the hands. When doing equipped benching, I think for 99% of the people, the right hand placement is the maximum width. With raw benching, people have differing widths of what is, but the maximum width is always almost the right thing for equipped. I'm doing equipped bench today. I'm also warming up all my row lifts with the same lifting line and the same hand spacing. And every set counts as practice. There's only so many sets you do, so even with light warm-up weights, you might as well try to get in the position in the same order that you would do if it was your maximum lift. In my Bench Daddy band shirt, all the layers are separate. So I have options. I can start warming up just using one layer. I get 1, 2, or 3 according to when I go up in weights. This is a real big change from a normal polyester or canvas shirt where you have that one shirt and it might be so tight that you need 300 kilos to touch. But obviously 300 is not going to be your first lift, so you have to do many reps that are nowhere near touching your chest. Whereas if you put one of these on a time, you can be doing full range motion and practicing the technique all the time. Plus, it's easier on the whole body when you don't have to struggle against the really tight shirt from the get-go. At this point of the session, I'm going to put one ply on, warm up with that, and as I go up in weight, I'll add more plies. Now we're going to get down to the nitty-gritty of the actual band shirt lifting. There are 3 things that are really important at this point. Continuing still on the setup. First one is how to get your hands on the bar. Using now one ply, so it's not hard to get my hands on the bar, but when you get the actual competition fit shirt, it is really hard, if not altogether impossible, to get your hands on the bar without assistance. At least it will hamper your positioning greatly. What I'm going to do is I'm going to put the one arm that I have difficulties getting better set first on. So there's no resistance on it. I can put the scapula in the right place, pull my shoulders back, and then I'm going to have help pushing the other hand out. So first the hand that you feel that is harder to set up, put that in place, grind it in place, get help to push out. And when you get the help, this is second, have somebody pushing you from here, from the crook of your arm, not from your wrist, because when it's really tight, what it's going to do is just going to bend your arm. So have your helper push you from here. After that, you set up and you fight your shoulders back, and we'll give more tips then later on. Do the push from. And here you stabilize and drop your lats down. So drop your scaps down so you're in best position to lift. That stabilization will make or break the lift. Those few extra seconds, when you stay there and you see how much the bar lowers, that's when my shoulders are actually getting set and when my scapula is actually getting pulled back into the right position. I could get them in the perfect position with only one band, but for illustration's sake, I kept it there and showed how much the movement actually is. When we get to bigger weights, you see it in actuality. When I have more weight on there, I certainly won't be able to speak, but you will see how it works. So on the next one, we're going to show how your handout man, or in my case, a woman, has to really know their stuff also. Because once they hand out, it will sink. In the best case scenario, if you really know how to set up, you will sink 2 inches before you fully have the weight and you'll be in the perfect position. If your handout man lets go before you've done the sinking and set your shoulders, well, you're in a world of trouble if you're having max weight and it drops 2 inches and then you have to try and balance it. So on the next set, you will see how my wife, the best bench presser in the UK, a title I would like to claim but I can't, will show you how a really good handout person lets you sink it in and make sure you have the bar. This is the kind of patience you need because you cannot rush with really big weights. You have to be able to hold them there for a couple of seconds and, just suck it up. And the last thing that is important is the descent. So, if you know basic physics, you understand that a stretchy shirt stretching directly to the sides gives the most bang. It will gather the most force. Traditional bench shirts are usually cut from hard material that doesn't stretch that much, that usually demand your touch point to be somewhere between your sternum almost all the way to your navel. Maybe exaggerating here a bit, but not much. So, with these ones, you want to follow pretty much standard raw line. It doesn't deviate much from that. What you saw me doing in the warm-up for without the band shirts is going to be pretty much what I am aiming to do no matter how many layers of shirts I have. The tendency for body is to try and find an easier way down. In band shirts, it means that tucking your elbows in would make it easier to descend because the band resists you less. But then it also means it assists you less. So for the best, grooviest line, follow pretty much your raw line and do it from the very first warm-up from empty bar all the way to the very last. So rather than forcing it down in wrong line, you spread your elbows to the side. I think we're now at the ways that I won't be able to talk as I'm doing it, but we will go through all of the things. We're going to put the hand in place, stabilize, spread.
And up, and out, stop, and release, gently.
Yep. Oh. Side handouts and the center handout, they all have to work a bit together to make sure, but that was nice and quite an even release there. Let me sink in. I catch my breath a little bit, but so the descent part of it, apart from spreading your elbows, you have to keep pushing your chest out. Those are the two things. Everything else, well, it just makes it more and more complicated. With band shirts, you need enough weight on the bar, spread your hands to the sides, push your chest out, keep everything tight. Somebody says, what about the press? When you get the press command with your maximum weight there, the press is going to take care of itself. You're just going to utilize all the strength you have, lock out your arms, and that's it. I have never had a single thought while I'm pressing apart from, oh my God, I'm not going to get this, or things like that. And the whole trying to engage this and that when you're already pressing, well, it might work for someone, but I focus on the setup and the descent, because those are what makes or breaks the lift. Looking at the lifting clips, you've probably seen that the rack height is very high. I don't know if you noticed, but they struggle to actually get it out, and then of course when I drop it down, they struggle to get it back. The reason for this is very particular to the band shirts. It's part of getting your hands on the bar. It is that much easier if you have a higher rack height. Then you're almost arm straight there when you fight your shoulders back. And because with a really tight band shirt, you will never have your shoulders back 100% until the bar is handed out to you. It doesn't really matter if your scaps are a tiny bit open. So it makes it easier to get the hands on the bar, and then the actual final setup is done when you're holding the bar. And instead of always maxing out, I'm a big proponent of doing actual technique work. So today I'll be doing triples with 320, and I'm going to make them deliberate, good, solid reps that everything works the technique. So this technique then stays solid with the bigger weights.
Come on then. And up, and out, and out, stop, and release. 2, and 3, and in.
So sets like that, they're just as important, if not more important, than the actual top sets with maximum weight. Because when you have less band resistance, like today I'm using only the insert, you can really practice the setup. And when you have a little bit less weight on your hands, it makes it that much easier to hold it there for a few seconds, practice the stabilizing, practice the patience. And it's easier on your body also, because you're not in the berserker mode for your top set. You can actually focus on things. A little bit of a recap. What we went through with the setup, the small things with the feet, they are quite universal. They're going to be the same whether you're raw, whether you're lifting in a poly shirt, whether in unlimited. But setting up the hands, the high rack height, the stabilizing, dropping your lats, those are all very particular to the unlimited shirts. You have to have high rack height, so you get your hands there easier. You have to have a good partner to push you from the crux of your arm. And then you have to have a handout crew, either 1-man or 3-man, that knows how to release it slowly, to give you time to set your shoulders. And all of these people will be no help if you don't have the patience and the guts to actually stay there and actually have the big weight in your hands and set up. It will take time, it's not going to be an overnight thing, but that is what makes or breaks the lift. Also, in the descent, it was very particular that with the band shirt, because of the elastic material and because of the cut, whether you have bench daddy, F8, slingshot, whatever, the more you spread your elbows, the more support and more assistance the shirt will give you. You have to push your chest out. With a tight shirt, it will feel like somebody's sitting on or kicking you in the chest, but that's one of those things that if you're a good equipped lifter, you want to get a lot out of your equipment, you just have to suck it up. And like I said, if you have all these things nailed down, the pressing up will take care of it itself. I hope it helped.